We've made it to the middle of the year, so it's time for my mid-year check-in. Hi, I'm Alex. This is Pucksandpaperbacks, where I love to shout about queer and trans books. Today, I'm sharing my mid-year check-in. I'm combining this video with the mid-year check-in tag. It is under a different name, but that name is ableist, therefore I don't use it anymore, and I would love for other creators to do the same. Also, I recently found the mid-year calm down tag created by Leandra the TBR0, so I'll be doing that as well. Since I'm doing two tags at once, I am going to rotate from each question. So we'll have a question from the mid-year check-in tag and then one from the mid-year calm down tag and go down the list. I'll have the questions and everything down below. Let's get started. Best book you read so far this year? I have two. The Prospects by Katie Hoffman. This was fantastic and is a book that I still keep thinking about. And Horse Barbie by Gina Ricciero. I loved this book so much. I actually read both of these in vlogs, so I'll have them linked down below. Thankfulness. What 2025 has brought me so far. I'm thankful for my patrons, for everybody here watching every video that I post, because I've changed my schedule up this year where I post twice a week. I've done pretty good for the most part, unless there's something that happens that I can't get a video up, but I have posted so much and I've been having a lot of fun. I also started doing weekly live productivity and reading sprints, which has been so much fun. I used to be really nervous to do so because I prefer this, talking to a camera, but because of the community that I've built there, they have helped me feel less anxious and more comfortable on live stream. I look forward to streaming every week, and I just love everybody who either watches after the fact or watches live. I have to shout out my patrons here. I am so thankful for them. They are the reason I'm able to continue to make content here. It has helped me so much, and with their patronage, I'm able to fund my videos, and it helps so much. If my content's ever been meaningful to you and you enjoy these videos and you want more, I post so much on Patreon. It is like my part-time job at this point. I post a ton of videos and behind-the-scenes content. I post a weekly newsletter where I update you about what I'm currently reading, filming, and what my YouTube and Patreon schedule looks like for the week, as well as a section where I share what I'm currently enjoying, playing, and I give a recommendation. So if you're interested in any of that, the link is down below. I would love to have you over there. I love my community over there and appreciate them so much. New release you haven't read yet but want to? The Relationship Mechanic by Carmen Lee. I was recently sent a copy from Harlequin for Pride. I will link that book haul up above. I am so appreciative that they sent me this, so thank you to the team over there for sending me a copy. I might be pushing it, but I would love to try and fit this into my reading plans this month. Relaxation, the most relaxing book. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I thought this was so cozy and relaxing. I can't wait to read more books from this author and that are similar to this. If you would like to know my full thoughts, I actually have a spoiler reading vlog over on my Patreon for top patrons, or on sale for $10. So you'll get all of my thoughts about the book. I had so much fun reading this, and it was really fun to document. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year is the new Binks and Deaver, the Build a Boyfriend project. That's also a book I need to get to this month because it's coming out soon. And Needle Lake by Justine Champagne. This comes out December 2nd. This is an adult fiction about two cousins who spend one winter together and their lives change forever. Hydration, a book that you needed. The In-Between Bookstore by Edward Underhill. This is his adult debut. It follows a trans man approaching 30 who goes back to his small town, and he visits the bookstore he used to work at in high school, but when he walks in, his high school self is at the counter. This was brilliant. I thought it was so good, and it healed a piece of me that I've really needed. It was the type of book that I just needed at that moment, and I loved every second of it. I actually do have a vlog for it, so of course I'll link that down below. Biggest disappointment. I didn't have too many books that I absolutely hated. I feel like that doesn't happen to me much because I know my reading taste, and also I feel like I'm not as picky when it comes to books, but reading Goaltender Interference by Ari Baron, it was not my favorite thing. I read it for my trope taste test vlog where I tested the trope second chance romances, and I really disliked this book. It was just that it didn't have enough plot for me. I was very bored. However, I know it has an audience. I'm just not a part of that audience. I have so much fun doing that series, and you'll see another episode soon. Nourishment, a book that energized you. The Prospects by Katie Hoffman. I still cannot stop thinking about this, and after I read it, I just wanted to talk about it for hours and talk to anybody about it. It was just that good. I'm craving more from this author, and now every time I watch baseball, I can't stop thinking about this book. Every single time I just start thinking. I'm not even watching the game at that point. Biggest surprise, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I don't read fantasy. If you're new here, I'd never read fantasy. It is not a genre I like to read because I prefer to stick to my contemporary settings. Fantasy just goes over my head sometimes, and I have a hard time understanding the world, but this was so easy to read and I didn't feel confused at any points. Specifically, I liked the management where they open this cafe called Legends and Lattes, and you get to see how the cafe evolves over time, and that was definitely my favorite part. An author you've returned to. I read a lot of new to me authors this year, but one author I went back to is Akwaeke Emezi. I recently read Freshwater for my latest episode of TBR Tackle. This is a series where I tackle my physical TBR 2 books at a time with a twist. I picked up Freshwater. It was fantastic. Another best book of the year, and I still am in awe of this book. In that video, I was reading books by authors I've only read one thing from, and I was so shocked to learn I've only read Pet by this author, and I thought that was fake. I was like, I totally read more, but it's not real. I've only read Pet. But now I've read 2, but I need to read more because I still can't believe that I have only read 2 books from them. I also revisited A.R. Capetta for the same vlog. Favorite new to you author? Anita Kelly and TJ Alexander. TJ Alexander may be my most read author of the year. I have read at least 2 things from him, and I don't plan to stop. I would love to pick up Chef's Choice next, so that'll definitely be my next TJ Alexander book. Some other new to me authors are Alison Derrick, David Yoon, Calvin Kasuke, Nicola Dinan, and Paul Katia. Healthy Risk, a book that was out of your comfort zone, or it could also be a new to you author. Well, Legends and Lattes fits here perfectly, but I don't want to just keep using this book for everything. So I'm going to change things up with Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. I recently did a video where I read popular queer authors, and I read this. I'm learning this year that literary fiction is out of my comfort zone. I prefer a contemporary book, or a book that I know the end result. With literary fiction, it's too thought-provoking sometimes, where you really have to sit with your thoughts about what you read. And I think that that is a good practice for everybody. We have a media literacy crisis at the moment, as well as a society that lacks critical thinking, so it's very important to reflect on what you read. But this was definitely out of my comfort zone. However, I have spent some time articulating my thoughts more, and so if you want to know more, I recently talked about it more in my June wrap-up, and I think that that tells you all you need to know about this book and what I actually thought, because I did really enjoy it. This is an author I will read from again, but I think I need to take a break from literary fiction. Newest favorite character. I have a couple here. Luis from The Prospects. I loved him so much. He has anxiety, and I just related to him so much. I adored him. James Harding from A Gentleman's Gentleman by TJ Alexander. I loved him. I could say I also loved Lord Christopher Eden. I just loved their dynamic together. And you know I love messy queers, so I have to include Dahlia from Love and Other Disasters. Reflection. Changes in your reading taste. So I just talked about how literary fiction is something I need to stop reading just until I feel like I want to read it again. I just have had too much literary fiction and I need to go back to my romance and contemporary settings. This year I read more audio than I have read pages. This is my highest year for audiobook hours. I have read a lot of romance this year as well, and I've dipped my toe into fantasy. I would love to read more cozy fantasy in this style. I do have some books that I'm looking forward to reading. I just don't know when. Probably fall season. I think that's probably the best time to read these type of books. One of my bookish goals for the year was to read down my physical TBR as well as read more disability rep. I am participating in the disability reading challenge on Storygraph created by @ShadowBooker, so I will link that down below as well, and it's helped me to read more disability rep. Basically, there is a challenge for different disabilities, including physical disability, communication or speech disorder, deaf, hard of hearing, ADHD, autism, and more. I really need to continue to read more disability rep. I also want to read more BIPOC queer books. I've realized that is something I'm lacking, especially when I filmed a bunch of my videos for Pride. I only read one Black author for Pride, so I need to add more Black and Brown authors into my reading. Specifically, Indigenous and Black authors is where I'm lacking, so I am going to continue to build my reading lists based on that so that I'm reading more diversely. Book that made you cry. I have a couple here. A Gentleman's Gentleman. I was emotional by the end of this. The In-Between Bookstore really hit me in the feels. And my most recent read, Forget Me Not by Alison Derrick, this tore me apart. It was so heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. The next two prompts I don't have an answer for, but I'll just say them here. Detox, a book or habit you're leaving behind, and Most Beautiful Book. Book that made you happy. Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. I loved this so much. Speaking of messy queers, this has all the messiness. I loved the messiness in this book, and I felt myself smiling so much, but also shaking my head at some of Noah's choices, but this was fantastic. I also catch myself thinking about this sometimes. I'm also going to include the middle grade debut, B. Mullins Takes a Shot by Emily Dibert. This was adorable. It is a sapphic middle grade following a girl in middle school who joins the girls hockey team, and she starts to have a crush on an 8th grader, Gabby. This talks a lot about girls hockey, and I adored it. I do have a vlog for this as well. At the beginning of the year, I started a series where I was going to read some new releases to showcase them and have them read, but I started to fail at that, so that's why I'm doing TBR Tackle now. But I do have at least 3 episodes in that series, so I'll link a playlist. Positivity. Most anticipated books or events. For me, it's books. Donut Summer by Nita Kelly is a book I want to read so badly now that I've read Love and Other Disasters, because I need another food-related book from them. If you're curious about anticipated releases, I have been sharing them throughout the year, so I will link some of those down below as well. What books do you need to read before the end of the year? I need to continue reading my list of books that I have to read before the end of the year or I unhaul them. Here's just a couple. High Risk Homosexual, Final Draft, Nice Try Jane Sinner, and The Black Veins. I hope I can fit some of these into content. For Buzzword, I'm gonna use this for the transportation prompt in August, and then I'll try and figure out a way to fit these into my reading over the next couple months. You may just see them in an episode of TBR Tackle. Now we're down to the last 2 questions. Looking ahead, what are some personal goals for you? I want to continue my Patreon, of course, continue creating content and reading vlogs specifically, continue my live streams and engaging with my community, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, a lot of my focus is on content creation. I want to hit monetization before the end of the year. I feel like I can. So that would be amazing if that goal could be fulfilled. I've been trying to do it forever, and by uploading twice a week and doing my live streams, it has helped me boost my monetization goal. This is what my bar looks like right now. I don't have any other channel goals specifically, but I have been slowly growing my channel still, and that's pretty great. If you're looking to create a booktube channel and you just want some tips, I created a video back sometime at the beginning of the year, so I'll link that above. And last is to shout out some content creators you've been loving. I am obsessed with Jenny from This Story Ain't Over. She makes the best content. I think she is one of the best booktubers out there, and I think more people need to be watching her. I also have been enjoying Sarah Danielle. She has a lot of creative content. She's mainly on TikTok, but does have some YouTube content. Speaking of underrated, I also love Tells of Tals. I mentioned her last year, but I'm gonna keep mentioning her because I think her content is so fun. I'm also going to shout out Brie from the Lockbooktician. I love Brie, her content's great, and she's been doing a lot of reading vlogs lately that I've been loving. I'm also going to shout out my friend Alex at Novels with Alex. She has been doing some more discussion videos as well, and I've been loving them. I love that we're all getting into our discussion and video essay era because I'm loving all of the discussions people are having. It is making booktube so much fun. I feel like we're getting into that direction where it's not just reading vlogs, but people are having bigger conversations, and I'm so happy that we're doing that. And that is my mid-year check-in. Thanks so much for watching and clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and leave a comment. Answer one of the questions in this tag. Maybe let me know what your most relaxing book of the year has been. I would love to know. You could also just share your best book of the year because I'm nosy like that and I want to know what your best book was. While you're down there, feel free to hit subscribe if you're new here and you also love queer books like I do. I would love to have you a part of my community. Thank you to my top patrons for their support this month. It means the world to me. If you would like to receive exclusive content every month and become a paperback pal, I would love for you to join us. The link is always down below. If you would like to watch more, I'm going to link my Q1 reading stats video here in case you missed it. I will be doing another one in August, so you'll see that then, and you can subscribe there. Bye.